Heyo, welcome to the Heavy
Metal
Podcast.
There's a Citadel. Alright,
I keep
guys.
forgetting. It's my first episode, okay?
Should we just leave it?
Yeah, okay.
Fuck it. Alright, guys, listen, we are the Heavy
Metal
Citadel.
Podcast. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I like how we alternated it.
Yeah,
It was
a
really
little
easy
bit.
for me.
Yeah, that was totally off the cuff and not at all scripted. So, guys, welcome to the inaugural episode.
Number one.
I am Chort, the crop infestor.
Oh, very cool. I like the vampire accent.
Was that vampiric?
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, I'm into it. So
Okay,
it's
cool.
fine.
Well, as long as you like it, I'm happy.
All right, cool. And I am Chernoglav, the hero with the
So-
silver mustache.
Here's the thing: our audiences won't be able to pronounce that.
Oh,
So, can we call you Choo Choo?
Choo Choo. Yeah, Choo Choo's pretty good.
Choo Choo. That's pretty black metal.
Choo Choo. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
more like it. All right.
Yeah, guys. Anyways, we're here to bring you all things metal. We have band interviews, reviews, news,
All the use.
all the use, and we're gonna take our own sort of personal tone on things.
Yeah,
Sometimes
you know.
we'll be serious.
You gotta put a spin on things.
You have to put a spin on things. Sometimes, if
It'll
Gaul
be fun.
if Gaul was here, I'd be like, hey, Gaul.
Yeah. What do you do?
Because and if he wasn't here, I would be like I am now.
That girl, man, he had some good points.
Yeah, there are a lot of great points. But basically, what we're here to do is get absolutely blackout drunk, talk about our favorite metal bands, support them, talk about the community,
Yeah.
what's trending on it, and maybe get a few free patches or like concert tickets.
Oh yeah,
out of this.
that's. I mean, at the most, really.
At the most.
But we also want to play you some new music. There's a lot of great stuff coming out. You really can't keep up with everything that's on the radio these days, whether it's Spotify.
All these stuff.
Yeah, I know.
All
right?
these kids with their
Oh,
radio
yeah,
songs.
it's all the radios on digital. It's all the same shit, but you can just select the songs. But there's a lot of things coming out, and we just want to help you kind of sift through all that garbage and really find those real hidden gems. So I think we want to go a little bit underground, but of course we'll
Yeah.
cover across the spectrum.
100%.
Bands we like, even bands we don't like, because you got to give them a fair shake.
Yeah, there's some bands I don't like, but you still have to, even from like a technical standpoint, you have to appreciate the
Yeah, of course.
the level of complexity and art that goes. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I couldn't fucking do it.
And that's why I'm the power metal / prog guy, and you can just do the black metal.
I do love my black metal.
Perfect.
Anything that's basically it sounds like it was recorded in a tin can.
Oh, even better.
It's for me.
It's easier because we don't have to comment on the production too much. We can just say, oh yeah, this sounds exactly how the artist intended it to, which is great for me.
By the way, guys, let's just note that you gotta be about like 15% drunk to enjoy this properly, and we are about
20% on
55%.
Tuesdays.
Yeah. We're about 55% drunk right now. We got two hats in this show. We got the drunk
two hats.
hat,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is the solo episodes that we're doing now. When we do the interviews with the bands, because I know some bands. We might actually send this out as an inaugural podcast for some bands. So
Oh, they'll hear this and they'll never want to
I'm like,
interview
this is
us
drunken-
again.
this is
Yeah,
drunken
no,
cycles.
absolutely not.
No, listen, we put on, unless you guys are drinking, in which case we're going to absolutely
Oh
fucking
yeah,
match
then
you.
we'll absolutely match you or
Absolutely
exceed
match
you even.
Oh, easily exceed you.
Yeah, and then easily just go down. I'm a
Just
lightweight
garble
these
talk.
days. I'm a lightweight these days.
But we when it's a little bit more casual, like this episode where it's just the two of us discussing whatever black metal reviews, it will be a little bit more drunky poo. So please do drink.
Absolutely.
Please
Yeah,
do drink
just
with,
drink
us.
with us,
Unless you have a
have fun.
drinking problem, in which case, don't drink with us.
Or drink like non-alcoholic beer.
Actually, that is true. I did do that
It is
all of dry
really
January.
good. Yeah,
It's-
see, you were very strong with that.
I was.
There's some really good stuff out there. Of course, you might immediately relapse, so maybe don't do that either.
Moving on, just so you know, as a warning for legal
Wait,
purposes-
what's the other hat? Oh, we got another hat.
Well, we
The
got the
serious
interview
hat.
hat. We got the serious hat, which is the interview hat, which all the bands are coming. We got some actually some interviews coming up soon.
Yes,
There's
exactly.
some
Let's touch
absolutely
on that.
legendary bands. I don't want to say who yet because
Oh, we don't want to say who yet.
Spoil it.
Yeah,
I don't
no, we
wanna
don't
spoil
want
it.
to spoil.
But there's some big metal bands coming in. We're also
Absolutely.
going to cover underground
Multiple
bands.
genres, too.
Multiple, way,
We don't
yeah,
stick to one thing.
all different kinds of genres. And that's where we put the interview hat on. When we're like this by ourselves, we say whatever the hell we like.
I think we'll have some really great episodes about just reviewing the latest stuff, but not only that, but discussing maybe what's happening with metal in different countries.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to find out about more about Ukrainian metal, especially with the shit that's going on right now.
Yeah, and bands like 1914 have been.
Yeah,
They're not shy
1914.
from commenting on this shit because I've looked at their
Exactly.
feeds lately, and they are all like fucking rescue
it's
Ukraine.
very
Not rescue
interesting
Ukraine,
what's
but
happening
stand with
over there.
Ukraine. Yeah.
And just really, maybe our favorite riffs, maybe look at the top 10 of the year, looking at, for example, highlighting DSBM bands. We want to shine a spotlight on all things metal.
100%. 100%. And that sort of leads us into what I was just about to say, which is we are currently not sponsored by anyone. So if we do say someone's sponsoring us, it's usually for a laugh.
Such as Jack Daniels.
Which has sponsored this episode, guys.
Yeah,
Everyone,
it
Jack
has.
Daniels
Oh.
number 7. It's an old number 7 brand from Tennessee. It's the sour mash whiskey that just won't quit.
Absolutely. It's mellowed, it's matured, it's tasted, it's awarded for 7 gold medals since 1984.
That's right, guys. And did you know that this particular brand that I am holding in my hands and reading ever so carefully from has been matured for character in handcrafted barrels and tasted for flavor by
I
masters.
did not know that.
Well,
Well,
now
that
you
is
know.
amazing. And you know
Now
what?
you
They
know.
only make this in Lynchburg, Tennessee, nowhere else.
Wow, I don't believe that at all, but okay. Anyways, guys, that has been the plug that we're going to do for
Well,
today.
no, it wasn't a plug.
Well,
We're not-
listen,
we're not
if Jack
sponsored.
Daniels,
We're
we're
not
not sponsored. But if Jack Daniels gives me free stuff, I will sell my soul immediately.
Yeah, and we don't want to be sponsored, guys. We want to keep this
This
free
is
for you.
By the
no
way, guys,
commercial interruptions.
this is not monetized at all right now. We are not monetizing any of this. This is just two guys having a larf. All things metal. That's pretty much it. Anyways, I came into metal at 15, 16, and I think honestly, the gateway drug for me was thrash.
Ah, yeah. As good of a genre as any to get into metal.
I mean, yeah, when you go from like hard rock and all that stuff, thrash is your easy first genre to jump into, and I mean even stuff like Ebal's Thrasher, Flotsam and Jetsam's Hammerhead, which I was obsessed with.
Oh,
For years, and I
it's
still
a
am.
great song.
Slayer, Overkill.
I like
all-
how we learned like the first 3 bars of that.
Oh, 100%. Well, listen to me.
It's the
Listen here.
easiest part.
I am a powered chord guy. So while I don't, I cannot do anything more essentially than power chords.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, listen, if you really push your mind to it, I think you learn a few solos here and there. Like small ones. The tiny interlude solos before a riff.
Here's the thing.
Like,
Here's the
before
thing.
it goes in.
Here's the thing. I don't want to.
Yeah.
The
I
reason
know.
I
Also, you don't even have a guitar because you're borrowing mine at the moment.
Right, so I have a guitar.
Okay, but it's not really yours though.
Well, have you come and claimed it?
I mean, I could.
What
tomorrow.
guitar are you talking about?
The one with the Goku
I don't know what
sticker.
you're talking about. But no, it was sort of thrash definitely led me into that realm of all things metal, and it also led me into the sort of more extreme, darker stuff like Hellhammer, Mayhem, and I think I remember Mayhem was the thing that like pushed me over the edge because I was blown away by the fact that they absolutely gave zero fucks. I mean, they were talking about shit and they were doing said shit. So when they burned the chapel in Oslo.
You gotta walk the walk.
They truly walk the walk. The murder of Euronymous, that's suicide. It just sort of fascinated me to see the fringes of humanity displayed in sort of an art form, which I realized, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I wish
pretty
Death didn't die, and Euronymous and all that stuff, but
yeah,
it cemented the genre. It's really fucked up to say, but it did cement the genre as like immortal.
Well, it's a mythologies. It's a mythology. This is how the allure of black metal comes from. It's a lot of what happened, what didn't happen, what is maybe embellished. But yeah, the true fact is that some shit actually really did happen, and
Fucked
that's
up
what
stuff.
makes it real.
Yeah.
And I
truly
think,
fucked up.
when you're young, you get a lot of that appeal. I mean, when I first started, I was listening to the new metal. I think that's when I got a real first taste of metal. I don't know if you ever heard of these Columbia House CDs. Oh yeah.
Listen,
when I
guys,
first moved, you guys have heard
we've
of
been
the
doing
Columbia
like
House CDs.
practice. I'm not gonna lie.
You've got 99p.
Oh god.
You got 99p CDs.
I'm
and they
not.
send to
Why
your
do you
house.
keep bringing these guys up? It's like they're dead.
No,
Why do you keep
listen.
advertising for these people?
Well, they're dead, but it's a
Alright.
relic of history. And yeah,
yes.
you get some really cheap CDs, and of course you're locked in for the next 5 years. $25 a pop or whatever it was. But it was really it was that first Christmas, getting my boombox, getting a couple of Korn CDs, System of a Down, and really, getting into this dark, heavy music. Of course, when you're a teen. But probably, I mean, I really remember when I first heard those really deep, growly vocals, and I thought it was actually "Streaks of Blood," which is a Baphomet track.
Yeah, Baphomet.
Great early 90s
buddy.
death metal.
Hell yeah.
But it turns out it was a Dying Fetus cover, which I didn't realize until very, very much later. But that was my first foray into, like, wow, it can get really, really, really extreme. And at that point, I was just searching out the most extreme vocals. I think that's what I was attracted to. And I think you were a guitar guy, if I remember correctly. You loved the solos, you loved the riffs.
Oh, dude.
I really dug the vocals.
The faster, the chunkier, the better I found. And honestly, on top of that, it's like what you were saying a little bit earlier in terms of like showing you the extreme parts of sort of music. And for me, it went even further. It was sort of like peeling back that layer of, at that time, for me, was like suburban mediocrity and showing me sort of like the disgusting, putrid, real, raw stuff of life and music. And, well, for me, coming from like, I have a weird dichotomy of coming from a completely war-torn area of the world, but also then emigrating somewhere else and living in like a happy little suburban area.
Same without the war-torn part, but same.
Same. But the thing is, like, Mayhem encapsulated that, which was one of the bands that led me to it. But because they were like
good boys.
Yes, little good boys. Here's a little fucking record store that might be dead about you.
Have your fun.
A series of murders and like the real fucked up part of life.
Oh yeah,
all in one. It was like a weird dichotomy of things happening in music, and it just blew me away.
You see, that's the weird, because I wasn't initially into all of the backstories. I knew very little about the backstories.
Really?
Very little about backstories.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Again, I really like just the lyrics. Obviously, when we talk about lyrics and vocals, the bands I just mentioned, even Korn and System back then, it had a very unique style. But obviously later on, it was about, Angela Gossow and what she could do with her voice.
Oh, yeah. Good shot.
As a fucking 16-year-old boy, I was like, damn. And, I had a little poster of her in my room. I was like, wow, she is pretty fit.
You want to know something about that? I heard that song, what was that?
Alpha Wages is Sin.
Yeah.
Which, Ravenous. You're talking about Ravenous.
Ravenous. That's what it was. Ravenous. But I didn't know about the band at the moment. And I thought, oh, this dude is crazy.
Oh, yeah. It was very confusing.
Immediately I was like, oh, this is clearly only a man could do this. And I was like, wow.
No, she crushed it.
I'm a fucking idiot.
She crushed it for a long time. I know Alyssa's in the band now. She's doing a really good job as well. But I think it was at the very beginning of my metal days, I really loved the vocals. I liked the extreme parts of it. I liked that they sang about crazy shit.
And literally, I was just about to say, the extreme bit of it is what hooked me. Satan, the sort of core. Listen, occult and Satan, because I am an atheist, but I always think like,
well, is your family Christian? Is your family Christian?
Oh no, they're atheists, but they were raised Christian by culture. And one of those things like, we don't go to church except for Christmas.
Of course, yeah.
But the whole thing was like the extreme nature of like Satan, corpse paint, sort of death, murder, all these things that in sort of normal society you don't consider like, oh, that's okay. They took Satan as like, oh yeah, Satan's cool. You don't know his side of the story. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll look into that. I'll look into that. And also, it was a big sort of fuck you to the mainstream. They didn't want to be huge, and that's what I really love. It's like they weren't selling out. They didn't want to go like, oh yeah, we want to be on the top 40 billboards. Like, no, go fuck yourself. Satan is our lord. You are all fucking peasants. Bow before me, you hordes.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if there's like another version of you who's also atheist, but he got drawn to the extreme God side? It's like, God is my Lord. I love God. He's like, this is the Striper and shit, and like Trouble, all the Christian metal bands, like going really into it.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I think both of us would be so weak that we'd have to be friends with one another.
Exactly.
I don't want to fight you, so let's just be buddies.
Yeah. To the complete other extreme.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But no, I like you were saying earlier.
Extremes. You love extremes at that age.
I love extremes, and like you were saying before,
I still love extremes now. To be fair,
I mean that's why I'm
that's why I'm here actually talking to you in this room.
By the way, I'm absolutely blackout drunk already from the Jack Daniels. But what I was going to say is, I wanted to make a point. What you were saying about earlier in terms of I do love solos, grungy sort of guitar riffs. That's what sort of got me into this shredding. Skills of some of the guitars, especially within sort of the thrash era. So early Mustaine.
Yeah,
as an example, Gary Holt. Yeah. it's just that
Jeff Hanneman.
Yep.
Really, really.
100%.
Those early Slayer solos were off the charts. I mean,
yeah, and you know what? One thing is I don't get is like people they don't get
chaos.
Complete chaos, but at the same time also precision and fury for the wrist because it's like you need those fast tempos. The double bass, you need to have a certain level of skills to achieve that, and I don't know why they never got the praise that they deserve for that shit. Because you can do, yes,
they
you
do
can
have that praise. I mean, let's face it.
Well, I'm talking more like international praise. Because listen, I'm not gonna diss anyone, but I can easily make like a DJ mix that people are like, oh, it's great.
Oh,
but
nice.
I could not for the fucking life of me make
it
like a really good thrash song.
Yeah.
And I don't think they get enough praise. And the one thing
you're right. That double bass as well. I mean,
dude, I can't even. Yeah.
So, you know, the first instrument I rented was actually a drum kit, and I love to play the drums because I love the speed, I love the rhythm, and when I rented the drums, I had to have the double bass. And the guy says, "Are you sure? This is literally the first time you're renting the instrument." And I said, "You know what? No, just give me the double bass pedal, and I could go at a clip of, you know."
Wow, but, even that is impressive to me. I could go like,
as a teen, I was like, oh yeah, this is the shit, double bass, and I agree, but I really love that rhythm part that is truly unique to metal as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and I think it's the listening to that versus some of the stuff which is still great, but like the traditional hard rock or like the very, very early metal stuff.
Which is still great.
Which
all that stuff is great. Led Zepp, Deep Purple.
Yeah, but for me, like for example, Venom, which everyone sort of attributes as like
the early,
but for me that didn't really
first wave
do it for me. Like really. That, I didn't consider that.
It was too sloppy or what?
Well, it wasn't too sloppy. It was.
It's a different genre. Really.
It's a different
precursor.
I can't say anything because it's a different genre in a different decade and a different time. So
we didn't grow up with that.
Exactly. No, because people before then, like at that generation, they didn't hear stuff like that before. So this is to them like what I heard.
That is your first exposure. That is the extremity of your first exposure.
Exactly.
Whereas our extreme first exposures, we're saying like Mayhem or Arch Enemy later on, or these bigger bands that were actually quite popular at the time in terms of extreme metal. So it's still it was a different age back then, and we can appreciate it now.
100%.
We appreciate it now, but we're saying that when you first get into extreme metal, maybe that's not what you gravitate to. You go to it later on to really appreciate the history and when it started.
And I think that's also why potentially metal didn't explode as much as it should have, like now in our generation, because there's only so far you can take a genre before people start to sort of see like, oh, they're not all really like this, or they're not all like crazy killers and all that stuff, and people lose interest. But for me, that was what got me into it, if that makes sense. So like the fascination of what Mayhem did and all the fucked up shit in real life that they did took me into it. But then I stayed there for sort of the musical artistry, the guitar riffs, all the dynamic sort of complexity that is metal.
That's true, which is not necessarily Mayhem.
No, it's not necessarily Mayhem.
but it's straight up metal. But it's I mean, weird to your point. Like obviously, if you're looking for a headliner nowadays, it's still gonna be the old bands.
Yeah, 100%.
It's still gonna be the old bands nowadays. There's not gonna be any major new bands that do these kind of stadium tours. There are some, but not in the extreme circles.
No, and that's the thing and that's why like underground is like, to be fair, any kind of genre you pick, the best stuff comes from underground because they're not limited by sort of labels and expectations. They branch out. They do different things, and that's also sort of what got me onto was this, I think, ceremonial castings, which was totally different, sort of like black and I was obsessed with it. But no, going back a little bit, I mean, from Mayhem, that's what sort of got me into Hellhammer, Darkthrone, Gorgoroth, led me to that Swedish second wave, Marduk, for example.
Oh, okay.
Which I do like. A little bit too much blast beats for me because
a lot of blast beats. On a Tuesday morning, I get my cup of coffee. I might listen to a little bit of Marduk, but not on a Monday. Marduk's it's a little bit too intense. I'll wait for later in the week.
Here's the thing. This is why I love metal, but I've always had a weird thought of considering myself as like some metalheads because I'm very much led by my mood for what music I listen to. 100%.
So you're a mood listener?
I'm a mood music aficionado.
Okay, all right.
So it's like...
DSBM all day.
Pretty much. Depressing, from Monday to Friday.
Absolutely.
Saturday, I do get my power metal in. My thrash. And then Sunday, right back in.
Absolutely.
No,
but yeah, for me, when I was starting out, going through the most extreme parts, I went into the folky bit and the more traditional bit.
Folky bit. Now, what are we talking about? Because I got like pirate metal.
No. Hold on. Let's talk about that folky.
Okay.
I'm talking like Falkenbach, for example.
Okay, yeah.
Vindir. They have folk elements to them, but they're not complete. You wouldn't call them folk metal. You call it black metal, influenced by folk traditions, things like that. And that was some of the greatest shit I ever heard at that time. And Vindir still is one of my favorite bands of all time. And back then, I was a kid. I was paying $30 Canadian for those CDs, which
Jesus, what?
Yeah, so much money because they had to be imported.
Didn't they have Napster back then?
oh, they did. Yeah, I did.
Aging ourselves now.
But
cool.
I was saying to myself I was supporting the artist, but in reality, we know where that money really goes to. Cool, thanks labels taking like 75% of that profit. But no, these were great bands, and I mean, even Immortal on CD. It cost the same, also $30. All of this more extreme stuff. So if I could, I'd save the money, and then of course you had Kaza. You remember Kaza? You remember Soul Seek? All of these
100%,
good.
100%.
Was it called torrenting back then?
Oh yeah, it was torrenting.
Was it called
torrenting?
torrenting?
Yeah, torrenting. I remember LimeWire and all that shit.
Oh yeah, LimeWire, just downloading and making mixed CDs.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's so cool.
Came a little CD player with my little bolt thrower on. Oh guys, check it out.
No, 100%.
But yeah, no, that was the way to get music back then. It was expensive, and there's actually a sort of weird pleasure to that, I think, because it makes you spend time with the CD that you bought. Music's so disposable these days. You get off Spotify, you listen to like 3 tracks, you go on to the next thing if you don't like it.
And that's the thing. That's literally what I was going to say. Is the problem is you listen to 1, maybe 2 tracks, you go on to the next thing because you're just constantly flooded with songs, musicians, and the thing is with things like black metal promotions, they put out good content in terms of like the latest underground black metal.
Great content, but it's so hard to keep up with.
It is so hard to keep up with, but that's some of the stuff that hopefully we'll address in this podcast is like bringing
the best of that.
Exactly.
Playing some music on the show as well.
Getting those bands on here.
Absolutely, getting those bands on here. And really exposing you guys to at least what we think is worthy of a listener to, because there is a lot of stuff coming out. It's easier than ever to have a basement black metal band, let's face it. All the software's free. Guitars are like 99 quid now.
Yeah, or free if you take them from you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Exactly.
So it is true, but
it's a delusion of things.
But that's also a good thing because now all these people that didn't need to fucking put in X thousand amount of pounds to dollars. We're not in Europe, out to get sort of their album out. People can now do that online, and that's why I think places like, or accounts rather, like Black Metal Promotions are important, is because they get that stuff out from, and again, small
Not
countries.
Sponsored by Black Metal.
Not sponsored, no.
Okay.
But they get out albums from like Ukraine, Russia, Eastern Europe in general, which is also
we do love
Spain, Germany. Yeah, because some of the best bands in recent years for me have come out of Eastern Europe and Germany, I would say.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, the Nordic countries, Scandinavian countries, sure. But no, as I was going to say, actually, no, funnily enough, Swedish bands, we're considering it.
Ah, yes.
I have to make
Everyone knows the Swedish bands. It's not Silencer of God, is it?
I have to talk about Silencer.
Oh my god. I knew it was going to happen.
It has to happen because I'm obsessed with this fucking band.
I can't stop talking about Silencer.
I cannot. Listen.
Okay, listen. To our listeners, he talks about Silencer nearly every day. I keep hearing about Natram, and it's exhausting.
Okay, well, they all might not know who Natram or Silencer is.
Please tell us, yes.
Well, I'll fill you in. It's a DSBM band. It's a Swedish band, Silencer, and I think
they are good.
They are good. They had one album. They had one album in the 90s.
More bands need one album.
Yeah, I agree.
So much easier.
Well, although, Bolt Thrower, if they just kept going, I fucking love that band.
That's true, but they're delivering what
live and die by that band. Every fucking album, at least something good.
Oh yeah, maybe they just make one album that's 8 hours long. Also, that's also pretty good.
Bolt Thrower, fucking hell. Who are we talking? No, Silencer. I'm obsessed with it because listen, when you first showed me silencer.
Oh, Stair on Hills and Thunderbells.
And I
that
think
video.
it was the video. It was the video of the art film.
Begotten.
Exactly.
Great
with
film.
the soundtrack of Silencer.
Yeah.
Fucking
spooky, right?
It was spooky. It
But
completely fucked up my brain that day.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay, well, I need to know more. So
I mean, spooky doesn't really cover it.
no, it's like grotesque, but you can't look
Spooky
away.
is like a guy with a pumpkin head on, like jumping around.
That's
But,
comical.
Well, spooky to me. I'm scared of pumpkins.
I'm scared of bees.
What about a guy with a giant bee head on?
Oh, that is pretty disgusting. But no, Silencer, they're DSBM band. They're Swedish, and they had one album out, and the main singer Natram has this like
what a guy, what a
painful.
character.
It was almost like putting nails in your face.
Tortured agony.
Tortured agony lyrics.
Yeah.
Literally, that's the best way I can describe it.
Absolutely.
And they had one album out, and the sort of myth of Silencer grew so much because
exactly.
literally it was.
And again, myth and metal is so big. That's why I love it.
Yeah, but he's properly. Yeah, listen, I did the research for this band for
Yes.
like 3-4 months.
I remember, yeah.
I've learned a lot. He did
I
apparently
lost
have a
touch
brother.
with you for a long time.
Yeah, I was.
Well, you went to the rabbit hole.
I was very much into that circle. But he had a brother who apparently had like a schizophrenic disorder, schizophrenic episode, and he like took a hatchet to some small poor girl's head.
Was she all right?
Well, I think from what I read, she survived and was alive, and because it was an episode, he came
that's not
to.
bad.
The thing is, after that episode, he came to. He was rational again. He wanted to kill himself because he did this to this
Oh, I
child,
see, yeah.
and he tried to kill himself, but then he was put in an assailant asylum, and that's the kind of background that fucking Nat Ram from Silencer comes in. So that's why, guys, if you ever Google Nat Ram, you'll see this guy who is a little bit chubbier. He's got long
He's a little, wow. Gotta be politically correct and talking about fucking
Alright,
Silencer.
he's a fat pig.
He's a fat
with
pig.
pig hoofs. He literally he has
Thank you.
pig hoofs for hands, and he wraps his
vile.
fucking face up with like
bandages.
bandages with
Because maybe he got
bleeding
bandages.
bandages.
Like, on
He's
his
got like
face.
that's a good power. Yeah, he could be a pig man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a pig man. Let's be
and
honest.
I was wondering if they actually took his hands and then sewed them onto the pig that he took his hooves from. So there's a little
An
pig
extremely deck-style pig that's like texting.
running around,
Yeah.
it's like grabbing your hair.
Oink.
Oink, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then he's part of a separate band called Biolencer.
Or pig ram.
Pig rap. There you go.
But yeah, anyways, and I was obsessed with this band. They have one album out, and then Nat Ram came out with like a separate album. But it was so extreme, and that's the sort of stuff
Spooky
that
ambient
it's
album.
spooky, really fucked up. Like if you listen to that, you'll be like, okay, cool. I'm clearly having like mental issues.
Yeah. Make sure you listen to it very loudly on a Monday morning. While you're making your Cheerios. Yeah. No, great stuff. All great bands, you know, and this is where we're at now. And I mean, speaking of some of the stuff we've seen as well, we've seen a lot of bands over our time.
Oh,
And
we've
it's
traveled
been
internationally to like
decades.
fucking
We
10
have been
countries at
10
least.
countries, man. We've seen, remember when we went to see Behemoth in their hometown?
Behemoth,
fantastic show.
Zealand Ardor. We went to Austria to
Horn
watch.
and Rife, they also played, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We went to Austria recently. I think that was our last show. We were hoping to see 1914, but they got cancelled,
Who
unfortunately.
was on it? It was a good lineup in
Yeah, it was
Austria.
Mr. Ming, fantastic Icelandic black metal. Garea, which you weren't too much of a fan of, but I dug their stage presence. They were really
stage presence was
fantastic
alright.
live.
And
Elend.
Land, I was just about to say, fucking
Ooh,
fantastic.
Great, actually, again, the folk influence is coming
folk
through.
is- and
a little bit of acoustic guitar.
Yeah, but
I dig that stuff.
It was nice. No, I will say they're fucking
You
excellent.
know, my first show ever was actually Opeth.
Really?
And to get in, my dad had to take me. I think because I was like 15.
Also, he went with you.
Yeah, he went with me. He went to Opeth with me. And he actually didn't know what was in store for him. I was like, okay, cool, come to Opeth. I think this was around, they released Damnation around this time. So I was expecting a mix up between heavy and the soft stuff. But turns out the drummer was sick that day. So what happened is we essentially got an all acoustic set of Opeth with a little bit of a Porcupine Tree cover mixed in. And my dad was like, wow, this is metal? It's fucking awesome. And he absolutely loved it. So
That's funny you have a habit of that
it's a
because
classic.
didn't we go to a Warbringer concert and the drummer fucked his hand up because he punched the
Oh yeah,
he punched the garbage?
I remember that.
That's it
Yeah,
with
yeah.
you, yeah.
Drummers and getting fucked up.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't we go see Ahab and the drummers also fucked up or something?
Was it Ahab?
Yeah, it was Ahab.
I remember. What was that?
But again, Funeral Doom is probably not that hard to fill in.
And by the way,
to Funeral Doom.
No. And let me just say, Doom in general, one of the best concerts I was at. I don't think because I was high.
Oh.
FERPA.
Oh, FERPA. Okay, well, not Doom.
Not really.
I mean, we're talking like experimental drone.
Yeah.
Oh, FERPA.
But it was a Doom. It was a Doom
and Sun
setup.
O.
Yeah, exactly.
FERPA and Sun O, and then the Sun O show was Sun.
Sun. Their name is Sun.
I keep saying Sun O.
I know because
I've been wrong my entire life.
No, you haven't been wrong, but people have been calling it Sun O
Okay.
because of the O, but their name is Sun. But anyways, what I'm saying is,
Who was playing with it? Was it Attila? I think it was Attila. And he
I
came
heard
out
you
in the
say it
fucking
was
dress
Attila.
of mirrors.
No, I don't think it was Attila though.
Pretty sure
I
it was
heard you
Attila.
telling me it was Attila, but I read later in the.
He sang on Black One, and I'm pretty sure.
Did he? Attila.
Attila.
Mayhem's Attila.
Mayhem's Attila sang
Fuck
on
me.
Black One album, and they played with him
All
because
I
they
can
sang a
remember
song off that album.
literally is I was there high as a goddamn
Super
kite.
high.
Super high. But what threw me off
We smoked
was
out of an apple that day, remember?
we did smoke out of an
That's all we had in mind. Sometimes, you just gotta
You gotta make do with
it.
what nature gives the kids.
Absolutely.
But we sat there. I remember it was it FERPA was first.
FERPA
and
was
then
first.
Sun, and FERPA came in, and I didn't.
Oh, they
really-
just sat down in the circle.
And I didn't know what FERPA was.
I mean, either. I
You
had
told,
no
and
clue.
I came in there, and they sat down, incense going.
They had the bowl in the middle, the
Bowl,
Tibetan
and
singing bowl.
Their vibrations were so loud, the rafters were literally shaking.
I
To
nearly
the point where
shat my
I looked
pants.
up. Yeah, I looked up multiple times at the rafters, like, is this safe? Because it's I can see it vibrating
it
so
was
loud.
not safe. But that was the best part of the show.
And then Sun came out, and I gotta say that glass suit was something out of like fucking
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
Well, I know. They shined the lights
Oh,
on
dude,
him.
blinded
He was spinning around. She
It was
blinding my
absolutely
eyes.
fucking fantastic.
While the fucking stack of Marshall amps in the background.
Oh, yeah, it was like at
obliterating
least
my colon.
10.
Obliterating my
At least
colon.
10 mark like stacked.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was a great show. You see, more shows should be like that. Visceral.
Yeah, but
That's why you need visceral.
yeah, but
and we
had
saw
that
Mayhem
fucking-
that one time. They were also part of
With
visceral.
Gull.
Yeah, with Gull. And we were pretty upfront for that, weren't we? The
Front row,
Oh,
center.
killer fucking show. And I
No,
think
it's fucking amazing.
both vocalists were just at the top of their game. The sound was off the charts. It sounded so good. So good.
Excellent.
It was absolutely one of the best shows I think I've been to. I mean, it's a really good show. I think Mayhem still know.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping after this fucking, well, at least to some degree, where
Well,
when we go into natural with the COVID shit,
Yeah.
we'll return to those fucking shows, man. Because I'm
Absolutely.
absolutely sick. And
We've
I
been
am,
supporting some local London bands, though. I love to go see local London shows, local bands here
100%.
in the UK. We're going to be interviewing some local bands here in the UK as well on the podcast.
yeah, we got some coming up actually.
Yeah, exactly. We got to support the scene, and I think that's really important, especially with COVID. It's struck so many bands, and it's been really, really hard, and none of them could do a really big tour through Europe. Some of them are skipping the UK entirely,
yeah.
and that's why I'm shocked. Unto Others is doing a full fucking tour of the UK from
God bless them.
Bridgend
By the
to
way,
Oxford. Yeah,
God bless
them.
I don't give a fuck.
I want the
I don't
biggest
care.
fan.
if
We're
anyone-
one of the- we're the-
I'm gonna tattoo their goddamn name on my
Yeah,
back.
we're huge fans of Unto Others, and
But-
I am very happy and surprised that being a proper UK.
But let me just give a shout out to the local bands and any international bands that have been doing shows internationally, have been going on tour. Because I know for a fact that band that we're gonna interview hopefully soon has been doing that during sort of this last 2 years when we had COVID. And God fucking
been
bless
hard.
you for bringing that. It's been fucking hard, and
It's
you've been
been
bringing
fucking
that
hard, man.
excellent fucking music to the people that love it. So congrats to you.
Yeah.
And God bless. And I think there's no better way to end this current episode other than thanking those hard ass working bands. Some of these guys do it
Absolutely.
as a hobby. It's not even a fucking living.
They
Not
gotta
everyone
have
is
their day
Nurgle.
jobs,
Not
yeah.
everyone is Nurgle.
Yeah, not everyone
With
doing
coffee.
Instagram Live.
Yeah,
and
with coffee branded with his name.
Do
Not
some
everyone's-
yogas and get your
God
money.
fucking bless you guys. We love
Absolutely.
you all, and
Keep doing what
let's
you're doing. And
let's
we
not
want to
forget.
give you as much exposure as you can.
100%. And if you guys want to be on our podcast, please let us know, man. We'd be more than happy to feature you guys. And just so
Absolutely.
you guys
Good shout.
don't forget,
We are not sponsored by
Jack Daniels, the old number 7 brand, the
Woo!
Tennessee
Sour Mash Whiskey.
All right, guys, this has been the Black
Metal
Citadel,
Podcast.
and we hope you
I like
tune
you said
in.
black metal.
Yeah, what?
I like how you said black metal. You see, we've come full circle.
I said black
Yeah, you said last. See, I've
We're
screwed up the name.
halfway into a Jack Daniels fucking, what is it, 1 liter. Who the fuck are we kidding? It's a 1 liter Jack Daniels
I know. I'm just
bottle.
happy it's come full circle. And thank you so much for listening. If you have listened, hi mom again. And we hope that.
Also, hi my mom. Please subscribe because we're gonna need it.
Absolutely. You can find us on Instagram at Heavy Metal Citadel.
We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter for some reason.
Oh, yeah, also that.
Because Trump's there, so we have to.
We gotta add. No, he's not.
Oh.
Whatever.
We're on Twitter to answer questions and also have feedback from our listeners, hopefully.
And we're on Spotify and all of the major platforms where you get your podcasts.
Cool, guys. We will see you at the next one.
Cheers!
My glass broke.
Also want to give a big shout out to The Great Cold for letting us use that intro song. Nephelia, it's a great band, guys. Check them out. And thanks again, Great Cold.